Good to see all the students over here. Very good morning to all of you. About to be good afternoon in some time. This is Professor Ronak here. Welcomes you all in this financial mathematics class. Can you all hear me? If you can give me a confirmation, one or two student over here. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sagar. Thank you, Charmi. Thank you, Dhruvi. Thank you, Vidya. Okay, without wasting much of time now, let's go to the Excel file where we are working. I'm so recording has been started. No need to waste much of time now. Let's go to the Excel file where we were there last time around. Okay, so as far as the pricing of security was concerned, we had come across with the various models. The first model that we had done was the Walters model. In the Walters model, we had gone through some of the sums of it. Today also we are going to see a bit of variety of Walters model, and then I will end my lecture by completing the explanation of Gordon's model. Now, that is also a very important model, widely followed by the various financial experts across the finance fraternity for the valuation of the securities. Gordon's model is also regarded as the dividend discount model. Now, right from the derivation to the formula to application of that formula into various mathematical concepts, everything we are going to see today only. But before that, a bit of a variety about Walter's model. So everyone must be able to see the question over here. If you want to take a snap of it, if you are a smart nibba, you can, you should, you must, if I am being little authoritative, though I do not have any right to be. Everyone, please start reading the question along with me. The following figures are collected from the annual report of XYZ Limited. कैसे कैसे नाम रखते हैं यार ये लोग XYZ, ये क्या नाम हुआ? Net profit is 30 lakhs rupees. Okay, got it. Outstanding 12% preference shares. So we have in this case preference shares as well, and there is a dividend rate of preference shares too. Why I am giving the emphasis to this information is that EPS would be a little different because there is preference shares as well into the picture today. Number of equity shares we have, return on investment 20% as well we have. What should be the approximate dividend payout ratio so as to keep the share price at 42 by using the Walters model? Now, before I go to the end conclusion of it, let's see what we have first. What we need first to use the Walters model. So I'm writing the formula of Walters model. So price as per Walters model is nothing but the relationship between KE and R, and another important factor which works is the amount of dividend you pay. So the formula was like this: D plus E minus D into R divided by K. Remember that in the back of your mind. The whole is divided by K again. The whole is divided by K again. Now here, in this, what is the information we require that we should identify first? D stands for dividend per share. So do we have any information to find the dividend per share? Yes. Indirectly, some information is given to us, and from that we can find it. Then E stands for the EPS. EPS as well can be found by using some information from here. How, when, how to, we'll be going to that. R stands for the rate of return on investment made by the company, 20% given to us. Now K is not given to us, but let me take the K And I'm not assuming the K, yeah, that is there in the question, but thing is that while cropping the question, I I didn't take the K from there. So K is 16 percentage. You may write it please in addition. Okay, so this is how the formula looks like. What we are supposed to find is the dividend payout ratio. So let's find the dividend only. No, whatever the dividend is coming from that, we will find that what should be the dividend payout ratio as per Walter's model if we want to keep the price 42, because in this case left hand side is given to you, that is 42. So the information related to dividend we have, but dividend exactly will not be able to find because we do not have the dividend payout ratio. So earning per share can be found, right? Let's see how. First of all, you have the net profit. So I'm writing working note number 1. Everyone should start writing along with me. Those who are staring at the screen and thinking that it's not required to write, let me tell you, beta, your retention will not be there if you are not writing it. It's not a subject of staring and listening. We'll have to simultaneously do as well something. Working note that we have, that is 30 lakhs, writing as it is 30 lakhs. After that, the first right to get the dividend is of the preference shareholders, because name itself justifies they are the preference shares. Their right to get the dividend is above everyone. So I am reducing preference dividend from here. Okay. So 12 percentage. Can someone tell me what is this 12 percentage of what? We'll have to find the 12 percentage. If you can let me know. Fellas and fellies, bachas and bachis, if you can. Please unmute yourself and let me know. I know it is the last lecture, so there would be a bit of lower enthusiasm from the student side, but there has to be a participation. Yes, please.
12 lakhs, sir.
Very true. So 12 lakhs. How did we get this 12 lakhs? 100 lakhs ka 12 percentage. 12 lakhs. There was absolutely no rocket science in that. 12 percentage is given to you. So now whatever the earning which is there, now that is available to equity. And the earning available to equity stands out at 18 lakhs. Now, if you divide that earning to equity by number of equity shares, you get EPS. Number of equity shares are 3 lakhs. So EPS comes at 6 rupees per share. So that is the one thing we have taken over here, that is EPS. EPS stands for E. Now, are we supposed to find anything? No. Dividend we cannot find, no, because from the EPS, if we have dividend payout ratio, then only we can find the dividend. No, beta. Otherwise, how can we find the dividend? So that's what we are supposed to find. P you have, we want to keep the price at 42 by using the Walters model. So price we already have. So 42 equal to, let's put everything we have in the formula. Starting from the first one, D, we may take D as well. Or if you want to take it as X, you can take it as X. Absolutely fine. But if you have the problem with this terminology of X, you may keep as D only. So D plus E you have, yes, E we have got 6 minus D again, keeping as it is D, multiplied by R. R stands for the rate of return on investment, that is 20, and K stands for 0.16. 0.16 is additional information which I have added here, right? Everyone please note it down. Remember that in the back of your mind, the whole is divided by K again. Now let me use the sign of therefore here. Therefore, 42. I don't think much task is left now, because now there is a simple mathematics of 5th or 6th standard. We should start doing it. D. Okay. Now, how can I do it? First, let's simplify this. Then we will go to that. So d plus 6 minus d multiplied by 0.20 divided by 0.16. I think it should come 1.25. Yes, 4 4s are 16, so it should come 1.25 divided by 0.16. So therefore 42 equal to d plus, now we have the bracket, and in the bracket first we have the multiplication. So I'm going to say that to you that what needs to be done first, as per the Bodemas theorem. First, as per the Bodemas theorem, first we will be having the bhagakar, then gunakar. So gunakar needs to be, multiplication needs to be done first. 6 multiplied by 1.25. So that comes at, can someone tell me?
7.5.
7.5. Thank you very much. Multiplied by, now here we have minus, so it will become minus. So 1.25d, that is to be divided by 0.16. Let's solve this further. Therefore, 42 equal to, here you have d minus 1.25d. Okay, so d minus 1.25d. So you may get 0.25d, and that is in a minus, because here you have 1, and if you reduce 1.25 from 1, it becomes minus 2 minus 0.25d plus 7.5 divided by 16. I hope everyone is clear till now. Are we making any mistake? I don't think so any. Let's solve this further. Let's see what is the answer we are getting. Okay, so therefore 42 equal to minus 2.5d. Now let's take this 16 over here, no? At 42. It would be better, right? No, sorry, 0.16, not 16. So let's take this 0.16 over there. And that is there in the division. So let's put it over there left hand side, so it will become in the multiplication. So 42.0.16 equal to minus 0.25d plus 7.5. So can someone tell me 42 multiplied by 0.16? What do we get?
6.72.
6.72. So equal to minus 0.25 plus 7.5. Now let's take this 7.5 at the left hand side, and once you change the side, you become negative. That is applicable to the personal scenarios and situations too. Those who change the side generally go to negative side. Yes, but if you are going from negative side, then you become positive. Oh, that's a philosophy, sir. Yes, so therefore 6.72 minus 7.5 equal to minus 0.25. Yes or no? And along with that, we have D2. We should not forget that this 0.25 is there with D. Otherwise, D will go into FOMO zone. Therefore, minus, can someone give me the simplification of the left hand side over here?
Minus 0.78.
Minus 0.78 equal to minus 2.25d. दोनों नेगेटिव नेगेटिव, दोनों को कैंसिल कर देते हैं. So therefore 0.78, दोनों नेगेटिव को लगता है कि हम पॉजिटिव है, वैसा तो मैथ्स को भी लगता है. 0.78 equal to 0.25d. So therefore 0.78 divided by 0.25 equal to d. Now people would be like, sir ये कौन से एंगल से d लगता है आपको? बस ऐसे कर देता हूं, ऐसे. Okay, can someone give me the answer of d over here?
3.12.
How much?
3.12.
3.
3.12.
Thank you very much. Now try to identify. We have got the EPS, we have got the dividend. So from the dividend and the EPS information, we can find the dividend payout ratio, because the formula of Dividend payout ratio is dividend upon EPS. Dividend payout ratio, we are supposed to find 3.12 is the dividend. EPS we have received. We have got the EPS of how much? I guess 6. Yes. So let me put 6 over there in the denominator. So what is the answer you're getting?
0.52.
0.52. And if I want to write in the percentage terms, I can write it as 52 percentage. So from whatever the EPS which company generates, if 52 percentage is the dividend payout ratio adopted by that company, then the price of the share in the market as per the Walters model shall be 42 rupees. समर्पयामी. सबको समझ में आया है? किसी भी प्रकार का कोई भी डाउट? कोई भी ऐसी चीज जहां पे मुझे फिर से आपको थोड़ा सा एलोबरेट करने की जरूरत है? कोई भी ऐसी चीज जहां पे मुझे ज्ञान के दिवड़े फिर से झलाने पड़ेंगे आपके? सबको समझ में आया? ओके,
Yes, sir.
गुड, थैंक यू वेरी मच. सो मुझे ज्ञान ज्ञान के दीपक फिर से प्रज्वलित नहीं करने पड़ेंगे. मेरे बच्चे कैपेबल इनफ है ये सब कुछ करने के लिए. प्लीज राइट इट डाउन. Now, as per Walter's model, I'm not going into various, some other sort of varieties where one variable you are supposed to find from the other information which is given to you. That is nothing but a bit of a mathematical task. All other variables will be given to you. You find the one variable which is missing in the formula. So that's what we were doing in the 10th standard mathematics too, right? I guess अब तो बच्चे उससे भी पहले कर लेते हैं ये. बच्चे कोडिंग सीखना शुरू हो गए हैं भैया 6 साल में से, 7वें साल में से. आपको भी लग रहा है ना कि आप भी 5 साल अब से छोटे हो. देखो, दैट वाज द प्रॉब्लम वी वर फेसिंग व्हेन वी वर लुकिंग एट यू. वी वर लाइक वी आर आल्सो थोड़े से ऐसे बड़े बुढ़ी आत्मा हो गई है. अब आपको भी लगेगा कि आप भी थोड़ी सी ऐसी बड़ी बुढ़ी आत्मा हो गई हो बाकी सब लोगों के सामने. बच्चे बच्चे देखो 6-6 7 साल के क्या करते हैं. ओके, लेट्स मूव टू द गॉर्डन्स मॉडल नाउ. Walter's model we have done. Now, before I go to Gordon's model, let me tell you that this is the model which is applied by the various people while doing the calculation of valuation of the securities. It is one of the highly used model as far as the securities valuation is concerned. Why? Because it sounds very rational too. It tells you that the price of the share is nothing but the present value of all the returns which you expect from the shares. As simple as that. Now, this argument is so simple, this argument is so easy to understand, and this argument looks so rational, and which is applicable as well. I mean, say you cannot have a better logical conclusion than this, that it is the present value of everything you're going to get in the shares. As simple as that. How easy it looks, no? How rational it sounds. Perfectly logical. So that means whatever the return which I'm expecting from this share, in whatever the share I'm investing, whether it is dividend or market price or anything, my current price is nothing but all the cash inflows I'm going to get from that share. Now, argument looks very simple. Argument looks very logical. Pretty much understood that it should be the present value. अब के आज के दिन के हिसाब से जितने भी रिटर्न्स है उसका में प्रेजेंट वैल्यू क्या आता है. समझ में आ गया? बहुत ही सिंपल सी बात है, सबके दिमाग में जा रहा है. लेकिन डियर बच्चास एंड बच्चीज, प्रॉब्लम क्या आता है कि ये रिटर्न को आप एस्टिमेट कैसे करोगे. अब इधर ही तो प्रॉब्लम है. अब इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर के लिए कौन सा वाला रिटर्न होता है? कौन बताएगा मुझे? सबसे पहला रिटर्न क्या होता है? वो होता है डिविडेंड. अब ये जो डिविडेंड है भाई साहब, वो कंपनी कितना देगी, कौन से समय पे कितना कितना डिविडेंड वो चेंज करेगी, वो जो डिविडेंड कंपनी देगी उसका डिविडेंड का ग्रोथ रेट भी वो सेम ही रखेगी क्या, ग्रोथ रेट भी वो अलग अलग रखेगी हर साल? Some people would be like, sir, what is the growth rate? Growth rate is the rate at which your dividend increases over a period of time. आपको पहले 5 साल में 5% का ग्रोथ रेट देना है डिविडेंड में, लेकिन उसके 5 साल के बाद आपको 10% का ग्रोथ रेट देना है भैया। तो हर बार अगर आपको अलग अलग ग्रोथ रेट का परसेंटेज देना है ऑन योर डिविडेंड, दैट मीन्स योर डिविडेंड नीड्स टू बी इंक्रीज्ड बाय दैट ग्रोथ रेट, then how you will be able to calculate that? So here is the complications we have to find the amount of dividend first. Another one, to find the growth rate of dividend, because shareholders are not ullu shareholders. They are expecting the growth rate, and that is also very stable in nature too. They would say that yesterday you had given me 5 rupees, Mr. Ronak, but today you should give me 5 plus something because inflation is increasing. My purchasing power has reduced. The things that I was able to purchase in 100 rupees last time around, I am not able to purchase those things in 100 rupees today. There is a time value of money, not just because of the inflation, but because of the earning opportunity which I am losing as well. So there has to be a growth rate too. Now there can be possibly 3 situations. Try to understand as far as the growth rate is concerned, as far as the dividend amount is concerned. One is no growth rate. So if Chhaganlal Maganlals are there, who does not understand anything about the time value of money, would be like, no, we do not want any growth rate. It's fine. Whatever the dividend which you are giving to us, no, right now 5 rupees, we will keep getting 5 rupees for the rest of our life. We do not want any growth rate. And who will tell this? All those Chhaganlals and Maganlals who do not have absolutely no knowledge about the time value of money. But if someone is is belonging to BBA Financial Markets, who has studied time value of money in various concepts across the subjects, he would say that I need a constant growth rate in the dividend. Mr. Ronak, your company will have to pay me the dividend at this growth rate. That means every year the dividend needs to be added by this growth rate. Say yesterday last time around I had paid 5 rupees and growth rate is 10%. That simply means that now you will have to pay 5 plus 10%. So that comes at 5.5. Again, in the next year, you will have to pay 10% more. And that 10% more would be on 5.5. So 5.5 plus 10%, that would be the dividend of the next year. So based on this, the dividend amount will be different for the various number of years. So that is the constant growth rate. But if someone is too smart, I generally do not believe that in finance there would be anyone smarter than the BBA Financial Market students. But if someone is still smarter than this, he or she would say, it's okay, Mr. Ronak, you do not pay me the constant growth rate because I feel that there is a cycle as well in your production. Your company is going through this sort of a cycle where, first you are growing, then you are, here you are at the saturation stage. I think you must have studied in the marketing too, product life cycle. And here you have a declining stage. So Mr. Ronak, if I try to analyze your entire life of the company, which is say 20 years or more years or infinite number of years, is the case maybe, we feel that still you will grow at, you will grow at higher rate in this 5 years. Then you will be at the saturation stage for next 5 years, then for all number of years for which company will survive, so that means in total after 10 years, here in 5 years where there is a growth rate, where you are still expanding your business and services, here you are still trying to match up the demand, here you are still trying to employ your resources in a productive manner, here you are still a little bit struggling as far as getting the market leadership is concerned, I am just expecting 5% from you. But when you will reach to the saturation stage, I would expect 10% from you. I said, okay, sounds very logical. And then he or she said to me that, Mr. Ronak, after 10 years, I do not feel that this business model is going to survive for a long period of time. You will have to close this down. So for all number of years, starting from year number 11, till the time company will be there, we would expect again 6% only. So it has given you the 3 stages of growth rate. 3 stages of growth rate. Now please try to identify. This is the growth rate. This is not the percentage of dividend I'm talking about. Please put it in the back of your mind again. This is the growth rate expectations we have over a number of years. For initial 5 years, 5% growth rate. For next 5 years, 10% growth rate. After 10 years, 6% growth rate. Now some students would be like, sir, how can we come to know that what percentage needs to be paid in which number of years? That needs to be identified by you, being a finance expert, being a valuation expert. And that's where the people make mistake. Let me tell you, I have seen some of the investment bankers who are a friend of mine. They tell me that, Mr. Ronak, one of the most difficult tasks we have here is to find this growth rate, that for which number of years what growth rate needs to be taken. But yes, there has to be a scientific formula for this growth rate as well. We cannot take it just like हमें मजा आता है उतना ले लिया. ये फाइनेंस है बेटा, ये कोई ये इंट्यूशन थोड़ी ना है, ज्योतिष शास्त्र नहीं है ये हथेली में लिखा था 6% है, वो सबसे लकी नंबर है तो 6% ग्रोथ दे देते हैं. ऐसा नहीं चलता. 6% ग्रोथ क्यों देना है? What is the rational logic behind it? How did you calculate the 6% growth? Why not 8% and 6% only? There has to be a proper systematic mathematics behind it. So I hope you are understanding this. People would be like, sir, there is no word like understanding. Okay, I hope you are able to get it. So there can be no growth rate, Chhaganlals and Maganlals. There can be constant growth rate. The one who is understanding the finance, the time value of money, but he is not able to find these details, that at what time I should expect what kind of a growth. There are some extremely smart nibas and nibis who would also expect the growth rate that should be changed over a period of time. Now here comes one more formula into the picture, that is the growth rate. Now how do you find this growth rate too? अब इसके लिए हम थोड़े से जो हॉर्सेस ऑफ नॉलेज है, हमारे क्यूरियोसिटी के नॉलेज के जो हॉर्सेस है, जो भाग रहे हैं, दौड़ रहे हैं अंदर से, उसको थोड़ा सा कंट्रोल में करेंगे. क्या करेंगे? कंट्रोल में करेंगे. पहले हम है ना इन सभी का फॉर्मूला देख लेते हैं, उसके बाद में वहां पे जाते हैं. जब कांस्टेंट ग्रोथ रेट होता है, अच्छा, इनका फंडामेंटल आर्ग्यूमेंट भूलना नहीं है. ये भाई साहब का फंडामेंटल आर्ग्यूमेंट ये था कि आप जितने भी डिविडेंड पे करते हो, उस सभी डिविडेंड का प्रेजेंट वैल्यू है वो मेरा आज का प्राइस होना चाहिए. चलो समझ में आ गई बात? समझ में आ गई बात? लेकिन कंपनी कितने साल के लिए सरवाइव करेगी, कौन बताएगा? 10 साल के लिए, 15 साल के लिए? और अगर कंपनी अच्छा करेगी, आगे बढ़ेगी, बहुत आगे बढ़ रही है, तो उस समय पे कंपनी बंद ही क्यों होगी भैया? तो आपके पास नंबर ऑफ इयर्स तो है ही नहीं. तो नंबर ऑफ इयर्स आपके पास है ही नहीं, तो फिर आप क्या करोगे? तो उस वाली एन्युटी को हम कहते हैं उस वाली एन्युटी को हम कहते हैं परपेचुइटी. कैन समवन टेल मी व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ परपेचुइटी?
कंटिन्यूअस, तो कभी नहीं
कंटिन्यू,
मरती.
कभी नहीं मरती. अरे बाप रे, कैसे कैसे रूड वर्ड्स बोल रहे हैं बच्चे यहाँ पे. कभी नहीं मरती, मरती मतलब क्या भाई? ओके.
कंटिन्यू
परफेक्ट,
सर, एंडलेस एंडलेस.
एंडलेस, एंडलेस. जिसका कोई स्पेसिफिक मैच्योरिटी पीरियड नहीं है. कंपनी कब बंद होने वाली है नहीं मालूम है. थोड़ा सा रूड बिहेव करे तो ऐसा भी बता सकते हैं कि कब कंपनी मरने वाली है, वो भी हमें मालूम नहीं है. लेकिन मजा आता है ना सर मरने वाली बोलने में. मेरे को भी मजा है. चल मैं भी वैसा ही बोलूंगा. कब मरेगी वो मालूम नहीं है कंपनी. तो उस वाले केसेस में क्या करेंगे, तो उसे हम परपेचुइटी कहते हैं. तो अगर किसी को प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ परपेचुइटी का फॉर्मूला थोड़ा सा याद आ रहा है, तो हम कर रहे थे आई डिवाइडेड बाय आर. आई was standing for the installment and R was standing for the rate of return. Now here in this case there is no installment. As a shareholder you get the dividend, right? So instead of installment there would be dividend, and instead of rate of return there has to be KE, that is cost of equity, expectations of equity shareholders from the company, or we may call it the cost of the company. So instead of rate of return we are taking KE, instead of installment we are taking dividend. As simple as that. That was the formula we were using for the perpetuity as well, while we were doing the time value of money. So here comes the formula when there is a constant growth rate, dividend divided by KE. अब ये डिविडेंड और KE ये दोनों को फाइंड कैसे करना है उसमें बाद में आते हैं. अभी फॉर्मूला लिखते जाते हैं, ठीक है? तो ये हमने कर लिया. फिर हम जाते हैं कांस्टेंट ग्रोथ रेट में. अब ये वाले जो फाइनेंस कीड़े हैं वो कौन से हैं? थोड़े से अच्छे वाले स्मार्ट फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स वाले कीड़े हैं. वो आपसे पूछेंगे कि भाई ग्रोथ रेट भी चाहिए, कांस्टेंट डिविडेंड नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट चिंटू मिंटूस, भोलू गोलूज एंड छगनलाल्स एंड मगनलाल्स. We have the knowledge about time value of money, but we are not going into extreme technical aspects of it. At what point of time, what growth rate needs to be given. You just give us a constant growth rate. Simple. So I said, okay. So यही फॉर्मूला में उसी फॉर्मूला को इधर ले लेते हैं, d divided by ke. Now try to understand. Now d is d needs to be added by the growth rate percentage as well, right? So there has to be 1 plus g, because that should be the dividend expectations as far as the growth rate is concerned for next year or something. And ke, that was the cost of a company. Because you give the growth rate as well, the ke decreases, right? Say company, any shareholders expectation was 11%, but you give the 6% as well, so your effective ke goes to 5% only. So you can take ke minus g. So instead of ke you are using ke minus g. So that is the formula of d 1 plus g, because for current year's dividend there has to be the growth of current year as well, right? So we are taking the increased dividend, and ke minus g. Simple. That's the formula of constant growth rate. Please write it down. नो ग्रोथ रेट, चिंटू मिंटू, छगनलाल मगनलाल, जिनको टाइम वैल्यू मनी के बारे में कुछ मालूम नहीं है.
Sir,
कांस्टेंट. यस, बताइए बताइए.
there is one more formula for the present value, like cash flow upon interest rate. So can you find using that?
Absolutely correct. What is the cash flow in this case? Dividend, yes or no?
Yes. C upon R.
Absolutely correct. So dividend is the cash flow, R is the cost of equity. As simple as that.
Okay.
That's what we have done. No, we are just using a different terminology for that. As simple. और ऊपर वाला फॉर्मूला तो वही है. कैश इनफ्लो मतलब कि वो जो इंस्टॉलमेंट हमें रिसीव करना था या फिर पे करना है, डिवाइडेड बाय रेट ऑफ रिटर्न. We were just using a different terminology for that.
Okay. Okay.
That was cash inflow or outflow only. See, annuity is not something which is only a cash inflow. It can be cash outflow as well. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. For you it might be cash inflow, for the one who is giving you the money, for him it can be cash outflow. So that's why I would suggest not to refer that cash inflow formula, because in that numerator there can be cash outflow as well.
Okay.
I hope you are getting it.
Yes, yes.
थैंक यू. अब ये जो बहुत ही टेक्निकल डिटेल्स में जाते हैं ना, कि कौन से साल में कितने साल के लिए कितना ग्रोथ रेट देना है, उसके लिए हमें अगर डिविडेंड 2 बार हम चेंज करते हैं तो हम उसको टू स्टेज डिस्काउंट मॉडल कहते हैं. अगर हम पूरे लाइफ टाइम में 3 बार ग्रोथ रेट चेंज करते हैं तो हम उसको 3 स्टेज डिस्काउंट मॉडल कहते हैं. हम उसको 4 बार करेंगे तो कौन सा वाला स्टेज करेंगे? 4 स्टेज करेंगे. हम मल्टीपल स्टेज ऑफ डिस्काउंट मॉडल में भी जा सकते हैं, लेकिन वो फिर बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हो जाएगा. ज्यादातर लोग 3 स्टेज तक फिर अपने इंटेलेक्ट को लिमिट कर देते. भाई अब ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट नहीं करना है, 3 स्टेज तक ठीक है. हम 3 बार कंपनी ग्रोथ रेट अलग अलग टाइप के एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे. एक है ग्रोइंग स्टेज, एक है सेचुरेशन स्टेज और तीसरा है डिक्लाइनिंग स्टेज. जब कंपनी आगे बढ़ रही है, थोड़ी सी स्ट्रगल कर रही है, उस समय पे थोड़ा सा कम रेट से 5%. जब कंपनी ऊपर पहुंच जाएगी, अपने बिजनेस में मास्टरी ले लेगी, अपने बिजनेस में पारंगत हो जाएगी, उस समय पे 10% एक्सपेक्ट कर लेंगे. और उसके बाद में धीरे धीरे कंपनी का बिजनेस मॉडल सर्वाइव ना हो, थोड़ा सा डिक्लाइनिंग स्टेज में आएगी, तो समय पे 6% कर देंगे. अब ये तो मैंने लॉजिकल फ्लो बनाया, आपको 7, 15, 25 करना है तो दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस एंड सम्स वी हैव, and that also depends on growth rate expectations of various people from the company. And here is the calculation remains, which is little bit difficult to understand. Majority of the people who try to value the securities are making the mistakes over here only, and that is including the investment bankers. Some of the highly recognized investment bankers I have in my friend circle, and they tell me that one of the most difficult tasks for us in the valuation of securities is to identify this growth rate. That's where the people make the mistake, and that's why the valuation would differ a lot. But yes, for the growth rate too, there is one formula, but उस फॉर्मूला के अंदर भी हम ऐसा नहीं कह सकते कि that is the best way to find the growth rate. There can be some other mechanisms too, but I find this one a very logical one. Now growth rate equal to once this will be clear, no, then questions will not be taking much time, क्योंकि वहां पे तो फिर ऐसे सिंप्लीफाई क्वेश्चन करके फिर फाइंड ही करना होता है, वहां पे ज्यादा कुछ होता नहीं है. So growth rate is nothing but 1 minus dividend payout ratio multiplied by rate of return on investment by company. That is the growth rate. अब 1 माइनस डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो का मतलब क्या होता है, समझने की कोशिश करो. दिस इज द मनी विच कंपनी कीप्स विथ इटसेल्फ. So that is also called as retention ratio. Retention ratio multiplied by ROI, rate of return of investment on that retention ratio. अच्छा, लॉजिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग लेने की कोशिश करते हैं. जितना पैसा कंपनी अपने पास रखती है, उस पैसे में से कंपनी कितना कमाएगी उतना मुझे ग्रोथ रेट दे दो. अगर मेरे 40% पैसे मिस्टर और मिसेस कंपनी अगर तुम अपने पास रखते हो, तो उसमें से तुम कितना कमाओगे. तो तुम कितना कमाओगे तो कैसे मालूम पड़ेगा? उसको मल्टीप्लाई करने का रेट ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट से, रेट ऑफ रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट से. वी कैन कॉल इट आर एज वेल, आर दैट वी वर यूजिंग इन द वॉल्टर्स मॉडल. मेरा पैसा जिसके ऊपर मेरा हक है एज अ शेयर होल्डर, ये रिटेन्ड अर्निंग है, वो हमारा इश्क तो है एज अ शेयर होल्डर. रिटेन्ड अर्निंग इज नथिंग बट द डिविडेंड फॉरगॉन बाय द इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स. वो बताएंगे कि कोई बात नहीं, आप मेरा पैसा तुम्हारे पास रखते हो तो मुझे उससे कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, क्योंकि तुम भी उस पैसे को कहीं पे वेस्ट नहीं करोगे. तुम कंपनी हो, बड़ी कंपनी हो, तुम्हारे पास फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट्स बैठे हुए हैं. तुम उस पैसे को कहीं पे इन्वेस्ट करो, कोई बात नहीं, क्या इन्वेस्ट करोगे, कौन से रेट से इन्वेस्ट करोगे, रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट से। तो जो मेरा पैसा तुम लेके बैठे हो उस पे ऊपर कुछ अर्न करते हो, एटलीस्ट उतना तो ग्रोथ रेट मुझे दे दो। So that is the formula which has been widely followed by the people in the finance fraternity as far as the growth rate is concerned. So detention ratio is nothing but 1 minus dividend payout ratio, which is the money kept by the company with themselves. 3 स्टेज 4 स्टेज वगैरह में फिर बाद में आते हैं, 2 स्टेज वगैरह में, इतना आपको क्लियर होना चाहिए। अब आपका पूरा लॉजिक क्लियर है तो फिर हम नेक्स्ट लेक्चर से इसके सम्स में जाएंगे, जो 3-4 सम्स हम करने वाले हैं, तो इसका पूरा प्रैक्टिकल है वो वहां पे क्लियर होगा। बट मेरा कंसर्न ये है कि मेरे बच्चों के पास लॉजिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग आनी चाहिए। कौन से भी हमें फॉर्मूला रटने नहीं है बेटा, ये रटना वटना सब कुछ हो चुका, पहले करते थे, अब तो समझने की बात है। एनीथिंग वेयर आई शुड रिपीट, else I will sign off this session for the day. Anyone? Okay, by end of the day, please expect one assignment to be received from your side. I would be uploading that in a Google Classroom. We are going to do one project as well. For that also, you will be getting the announcement within few days. That is Excel based project actually. So one assignment you will be receiving today. Please expect that. And I will also clearly state that what shall be our, uh, last date for submission. Till now, any queries or question, if anyone is having? Surely? Okay, good. Thank you very much.